That's right, radicalisation and terrorism very much off the agenda at the first edition of this get-together last year. Not the case this time round, on a day when the French President Francois Hollande meets victims of the 13th of November attacks. Now, opening today's proceedings, Manuel Valls, the Prime Minister, said that the current situation means tackling extremism and radicalisation is a huge priority. In terms of concrete measures, he wants religious institutions here in France to be able to develop a more concrete counter-narrative to the extremist discourse, which he says gets far too much prominence, particularly because of things like social media. Extending a programme of de-radicalisation which has been rolled out in French prisons as well. French prisons often cited as a bit of a recruiting ground for jihadists. And the idea also is to create a kind of a Islam de France, a French Islam with French-speaking and French-trained imams. I was talking about Manuel Valls there. He's actually been very candid in the wake of last year's attacks about some of the problems that exist in this country, saying that, as he put it, social and ethnic apartheid was a reality in some parts of France. He even said why he could understood that hundreds of alienated youths might be tempted into radicalisation. But he kind of repeated the message which the French government rolled out after the Charlie Hebdo attacks and after the November attacks last year, that it's by sticking to French values, liberté, égalité, fraternité, and this particular brand of secularism that we will beat this problem. Now, that secularism essentially says that religion will stay out of the state and vice versa. But today the French government showing that doesn't mean that we shouldn't talk and find ways of making sure that what is Europe's biggest Muslim community feels fully part of this country.